Well, I dreamt a lot last night, but I only remember the last dream, which seems to have two parts to it. In the initial part of this dream, I seem to go into a room. It's kind of a large bare room with wooden floors, kind of light-colored, whitish-colored. And I've gone into the room, and there's a group of men in there wearing galabeas. And one of the men is a twirler, and I even see him twirling. Except the only difference is it's almost like he has a cloth that's just been put over his head and tucked into the galabea. It's not like a hood, it's more like cloth that covers his whole head, so you don't see his face at all. I think the cloth that covers his head is purple. And at some point when I'm in there, they accuse me of having stolen the twirler. I think I still see him, but I'm accused of having stolen him. That's the first half of the dream.
The twirler is a consciousness that exists inside of yourself, that is veiled. And you find yourself in existence accepting the fact that somehow that is gone or missing or stolen. But inside of you is the consciousness that is able to proceed through life in creation without being affected by the illusion of things in terms of the reflections of the outer. In other words, you can see through that. You can see through the veils that seems to present based upon reflections. In other words, the twirler or the consciousness is hidden within or underneath all that exists in creation or in manifestation. Underneath or from the inside of that is an essence of all that there is. And it only appears to be stolen away or veiled. It's there for those with eyes to see.
Then in the next part of the dream, it feels like, again, a man wearing a galabea whose face I don't really see takes me over to what looks like a drafting desk. And it feels like there's some work people want me to do, but the drafting paper and the designs on the table are covered up with a sheet of paper. So it's almost like they want me to do some work, but they don't want me to see what's being done. So I kind of lift up just a corner of the paper, even though they've told me not to do anything, so that I can kind of peek at the designs on the paper. Then I kind of look at the guy and I tell him I've got it figured out. Even though maybe they didn't want me to look and they don't want me to know it, I'm going to tell him what's going on.
In creation, everything is at a different and slower vibration. So technically, light itself, which is at another all-inclusive speed, and things in creation are at a lower, denser speed, remain hidden. And it's assumed that you're not supposed to be able to catch up with that when you are in creation. In other words, that's the presumption that is generally taken for granted by most people who see themselves in this lesser capacity. Nothing in manifestation in terms of the senses and the appearances in the mind take you anywhere. In other words, it's not like those are the tools that you use in order to realize what needs to be realized as the actual realness that exists. But there's a way that you can peek, and you can see behind the curtain of all of that in order to take the steps you need to take. And once you figure that out, just you taking and discovering what needs to be discovered creates a peeling away of the veils, of revealing. In other words, it brings something of a clarity or a light into an inflection. And this reaches beyond, or is a step that takes one beyond the appearances that everyone else has bought into and takes for granted.